The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. People demand freedom of speech as a compensation for the freedom of thought, which they seldom use. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. It's better to get lost in the passion than to lose the passion. People understand me so poorly that they don't even understand my complaint about them not understanding me. There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true. The most common form of despair is not being who you are. It is perfectly true, as philosophers say, that life must be understood backwards, but they forget the other proposition, that it must be lived forwards. The most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly the one you will never have. What if everything in the world were a misunderstanding? What if laughter were really tears? The tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule begins. To venture causes anxiety, but not to venture is to lose one's self, and to venture in the highest is precisely to be conscious of one's self. Face the facts of being what you are, for that is what changes what you are. If anyone on the verge of action should judge himself according to the outcome, he would never begin. Boredom is the root of all evil, the despairing refusal to be oneself. There is nothing with which every man is so afraid as getting to know how enormously he is capable of doing and becoming. It is the duty of the human understanding to understand that there are things which it cannot understand. The self-assured believer is a greater sinner in the eyes of God than the troubled disbeliever. Why bother remembering a past that cannot be made into a present? Happiness is the greatest hiding place for despair. On the secretly blushing cheek is reflected the glow of the heart. Take away paradox from the thinker, and you have a professor. It is very important in life to know when your cue comes. Once you are born in this world, you are old enough to die. Every mental act is composed of doubt and belief, but it is belief that is the positive. It is belief that sustains thought and holds the word together. Now, with God's help, I shall become myself. The task must be made difficult, for only the difficult inspires the noble-hearted. The only intelligent tactical response to life's horror is to laugh defiantly at it. The present state of the world and the whole of life is diseased. If I were a doctor and were asked for my advice, I should reply, create silence. To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself. Whoever has learned to be anxious in the right way has learned the ultimate. Only the person who is essentially capable of remaining silent is capable of speaking essentially. People settle for a level of despair they can tolerate and call it happiness.